Hi there guys, it's Ebird Online and I'm wishing each and every one of you Happy New Year. I hope 2020 brings you all that you wish for. I know, I'm so behind, it's unbelievable. I've had a super busy Christmas and New Year. I've been the hostess with the mostest for what seems like forever. But now I'm ready to devote myself to you and let's see if we can catch up. So guys, what I was going to do is just watch all of the episodes that I've missed and review everything together. But I'm such a stickler, I kind of don't want my videos to be messed up. So I'm just going to do my other two reviews for episode 8 and then hopefully tomorrow I can start on reviewing episode 9 and then by Monday we should be all caught up. And I know everyone thinks I throw out these reviews super quick, but honestly guys, it does take me quite a bit of time. So this is my review for 90 Day Fiance season 7 episode 8 Judgment Day, and I'm going to be reviewing Mike and Natalie and Blake and Jasmine. Please don't forget to like and share, and if you haven't done so already, please press the red button and subscribe to my channel. So first up we have Mike and Natalie. So we pick up where we left off, fearing that Natalie is a full-time certified sociopathic nutjob, and Natalie's ran off to her bedroom and she's in bed curled up in a ball like a little child, and Mike's standing over her completely befuddled, and Natalie says it's too much for any child to take. Does he believe in God? Does he not? Does he eat meat? Does he not? It's going to be too confusing. And Mike tells Natalie, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Any child of mine will be allowed to choose their own belief, and so I think it isn't a big problem for Mike. Firstly, because his beliefs are as yet undefined. He just believes that aliens exist, or they may or may not exist, but really, who is our creator? Where did we come from? Not are there aliens? But I digress. But I think that religion is a massive big deal for Natalie, and that's why she has the problem with it. So loads of my subscribers were saying they should have got this all sorted out before they got together, but if it isn't an issue to you, there's nothing really to straighten out. If you're an atheist and you go out with someone who's a Christian and it's not an issue to you, there's nothing for you to straighten out. As I see it, it's only the person who potentially will have the problem that needs to actually air the potential problem. So I really do put most of this on Natalie. And then Natalie spits out, you play bowling, you're not interested in anything else. Oh Natalie, he's interested in burger and chips, he's interested in aliens, he's interested in hot girls from the Ukraine, and he's also interested in drinking beer. And it seems as if Natalie doesn't know Mike at all. And Mike says, it's okay for me not to believe in God. Don't you think when this child goes to school, he's going to believe in all sorts of different things? Other people will tell him, God's fake. What do you think he's going to do then? I went to church to support you. Just because I don't believe in God doesn't mean I'm a bad person. There are 4 other billion people in the world that are going to tell our child different things. 4 billion? Bloody hell. I've only been offline for a week. Say what you want about Donald Trump. He's reduced the population by 3 billion in 1 week. But Mike's had enough. Mike storms out and storms past Natalie's mum, who has a nosy Ukrainian ear pressed to the door, and he runs out into the street. Natalie goes to the bathroom, and when she returns, she realises he's gone. She runs out into the street after him, and she tells us, I'm scared. He doesn't know Kiev, and someone could rob him. Natalie, no they couldn't, because in Kiev, they're all Christians. So this is simply not possible. Remember now, Christians don't rob or steal or lie. And it seems as if she's forgotten the 10 Commandments since last week. Then Natalie laments, maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I was wrong in the argument. Natalie, yes you were. And she says he's not answering his phone. And I think that Natalie knows at this point she may well have effed the gig. And next time we catch up with Mike, he's out in the street. He tells us he needs time to reflect. This relationship is on the fence at the moment and it's far too much stress. He says he's made big sacrifices and he's flown halfway across the world and this is what he's getting. He said, if I'm getting this now, what about in 20 years time? Mike, in 20 years time you won't know Natalie, or the child she'll no doubt have with you. And we see a shot of Mike drinking a beer at a bar. And what's this I see? Mike! Oh my god. Mike's wearing pyjamas outside. Guys, please tell me these are not pyjamas. They look like it, but surely it can't be. He cannot be wearing pyjamas outside. And next time we catch up with Mike, he's headed back to the house. He tells us this is the most important conversation of this relationship. I thought he was going to look up and start speaking to the aliens, but he goes in and starts talking to Natalie. They go into the sitting room. He sits on the sofa, and Natalie sits like a child on the windowsill. She opens her eyes as wide as she can. She inclines her head and she tries to look sorry and vulnerable. Instead, she looks manipulative and devious. Mike tells her he's tired. He supports her beliefs, but she doesn't do the same with him. He tells her we need to find a common ground. And Natalie says, do you forgive me? And then she pretends to cry. All the time she was talking, Mike was very secretly giving her the middle finger salute. And Natalie says, my mistake was to take you to church because I opened up my soul. What? Because we've seen that it's black and devious inside Natalie. And she tells us it's hard for her to open up and be vulnerable, and taking him to church meant that she had to open up. But she says she must try harder in the future. And Natalie tells Mike, me going to church doesn't mean that I'm better than you are. And she says, I'm critical and I'm selfish. Natalie, you forgot devious and manipulative. And I think at this point, Natalie's just saying whatever she needs to say to save this deal with Mike. She wants to get into America. She's admitting to being vulnerable and sometimes selfish and overcritical. But really, she tried to just be devious, and she tried to manipulate and force Mike into saying, okay, I'll be a Christian then, and we'll bring our child up as a Christian. That's what she wanted to happen. She wanted to see how far she could push and manipulate Mike. If it really was a deal breaker, Natalie wouldn't even still be there. And Natalie thinks that we'll all be fooled by her saying a few critical things by herself will help her from masking over the things which really are at the heart of Natalie, that sly, manipulative side. And then Natalie says like a little baby, can I sit next to you? And Mike pats the sofa next to him, but then she sits on him like a little child, and she inclines her legs again in a fetal position. Mike takes this opportunity to tell her about his debt, and he says, I don't want to have children immediately because I've got £30,000 worth of debt on my credit cards, and I only want to start a family when I know I can take care of you and my child. And Natalie tells producers, if I knew about this, I wouldn't recommend this relationship to anybody. But then she tells Mike, don't worry, get me a visa to America and I'll help you pay the bills. I'll help you to sort it out. And it seems for a moment like this is all sorted. Mike says we'll strengthen and build our relationship and we're going to have a nice life. And so I'd love to hear what my little flock thinks. I think that Natalie's just trying to manipulate him. She goes from not wanting to be with him because he's not a Christian and not a good person to wanting to come to America and pay off all his debts for him. I thought it was all a game for Natalie last week, but now I'm definitely sure it is. Like most of these other characters, she just wants to get to America. But the main thing I want to discuss is Mike's so-called debt. Even though he has got £30,000 on his credit cards, I actually don't look at it as a debt necessarily. It's almost like saying anybody with a mortgage has a debt. In essence, the £500,000 mortgage you have on your home is a debt, but then also you have £500,000 worth of property with which to pay that debt. And I see it as being similar with Mike's tree business. He may have bought it for 30 grand, but he's only had it for 6 months. So unless Uncle Bo's been running it into the ground since he's been away, I assume it's still worth 30 grand. So I don't necessarily count that as a debt. To me, a debt is going out spending on clothes and meals and having a good time and having 20 grand's worth of debt on a credit card with not much to show for it, and certainly nothing to sell if you need to pay it back in a hurry. That's a debt. Anybody that's ever had a business or run a business will know most businesses are started with some sort of residual debt which gradually gets paid off. His dad had the business previously, so I don't see it as the type of business that he doesn't know how to run or he has no client. So I think Mike's going to be just fine. I'm more worried about Natalie than the 30 grand's worth of debt. Guys, let me know what you think. Is Natalie sly and manipulative? And do we think she's just going to throw her pills out of the plane window over the Atlantic and land in America and land Mike with a baby? I've got a feeling she has, but I guess we'll see. And next up, we're going to talk about Blake and Jasmine. So Blake begins by telling us that Jasmine meeting his friends for the first time was a disaster. And Blake's worried that Jasmine's not going to fit in with his friends. So in a desperate attempt to circumvent fate, he's going on a double date with Everett and Rita. And Jasmine tells us she's not trying to make real close friends in America as she has a sister, and that's all she really needs. Lucky for her, her sister's only 10 minutes away. Lady Luck seems to have shone on Jasmine. So they enter a restaurant and it's kind of like a restaurant diner, and they sit down to order. Jasmine orders a salad and green tea, and straight away as soon as she says green tea, Everett and Rita start laughing and saying, green tea? Why are you drinking green tea? It's really hot outside. Everett, what the hell does it have to do with you? Jasmine knows what she wants to drink and it's green tea. Blake, if this dinner's to try and build bridges, you need to tell your friends to get off Jasmine's back. What happens if Jasmine were to start casting aspersions on Rita and Everett's choices? Rita, your choice of boyfriend. Everett, the way you wear your bandana, you freak. I do not like this couple one little bit. So the boys get up to go and order, and Rita starts with another volley of questions at Jasmine. Do you like it in America? How are you getting on? Are you settling in? Are you by yourself when he's at work? She barely paused for breath. Jasmine told her, well, I'm not by myself, I'm with his mother at the apartment, and I don't know why Rita is so interested in what Jasmine's doing. And in a chat later to producers, Rita says there's no reciprocation when she converses with Jasmine. She says it's kind of like Jasmine has a wall up, and if she stays like that, it's going to be an issue. Rita, did you attend school past primary level? It doesn't seem as if you did, because you're asking her closed questions. Do you like LA? Yes or no? Are you settling in? Again, yes or no? Are you by yourself when he's at work? Again, yes or no? Why not ask, what do you love about LA since you've been here so far? Or what do you hate about LA? An open question so that you can foster some sort of conversation. And also, Rita, if you're trying to get some sort of relationship with somebody, when you're asking them questions, don't fire them at her. Good Lord, Rita asks questions as if you're the focus of a select committee. It's as if she just wants to find out information so that she can hang you with it. And then Rita tells Jasmine, well, we need to get to know each other as we're all going to be a group and we're going to spend so much time together, so we've got to try and make an effort. So not really, I'd like to be friends with you, you seem like a cool girl. Or I'll be your friend because I know you haven't got many friends here, so if you need to speak to somebody, just call me. No, we need to be friends because I'm friends with Blake, therefore whether I want to be friends with you doesn't come into it. I just know it has to be done. Sort of like a box to be ticked. Yep, that's really how to make friends, Rita. When the boys get back, they tell Jasmine the big news. They're doing a show. So Blake tells us that he's vice president of Sephardi Records and he's been doing this for 6 years. And he says Everett was his first signing. Incidentally, guys, Everett was his friend from middle school. So you know it's definitely a considered signing when you just sign your bezzy mate to your so-called record label. And Rita excitedly tells Jasmine it's so much fun when Blake and Everett are on stage together. Honestly, guys, Rita acts like she's a fan. In fact, I think Rita is a fan. And Blake tells us this show's kind of a big deal. Kind of being the operative word, as in kind of not. And then Everett asks, what's Jasmine doing? What are you doing for work? What career have you got planned? And Jasmine said, I don't really have ideas for a career as such. You know, I want to be a mum, so I want to have a couple of kids, so that's really what I'm going to focus on. And in unison, Rita and Everett say, kids? Oh my god, you've talked about kids already? If you move countries, you tend to talk about these sorts of things before you move, guys. And Everett said, when are you looking to have kids? And Blake says 5 years. And then Jasmine says maybe 3 years, 4 years. She's not sure, she changes her mind all the time. And so Rita says, so you're not planning on working? And Jasmine says, well, I'll just decide when the time comes, but I'm not sure yet what I want to do. And Everett and Rita are not happy. They tell producers she needs to work if she's going to support Blake. Everett, why would Jasmine need to support Blake? I know why. Because Blake's so-called record company is supporting you and your plans for superstardom later in your life. That's why you want Jasmine to work. Not because of Jasmine, not because of Blake, but because if Jasmine does earn a wage, she'll be the only one of your full motley crew that actually earns a proper wage. And Everett tells the producers, I hope she's going to be like, I got him, I got this. She's got him. Why would she have to have Blake? Because we know Blake doesn't earn any money with this little music folly of his. These guys have got their eyes set on superstardom and some sort of career in the music industry, and they know they need to get money into this record company of theirs to help facilitate that. And so they see Jasmine as some sort of potential meal ticket, or in fact, they now see Jasmine as being derivative. They know Jasmine's going to take Blake's money, and every dime that Blake gives to Jasmine is a dime that Blake isn't ploughing into Everett and his so-called career, and that's why they're so up in arms about it. Jasmine can't take anymore. She retreats to the bathroom, and Rita says to Blake, I hope it's working. I mean, you're complete opposite. And to be fair, I don't think they're opposites at all. One is as superficial as the other. And Rita says Blake is taking on a huge responsibility, and by this I think Rita means that Blake is financially responsible for Jasmine as well as her boyfriend Everett, and this is a problem for her. And she says it's because Blake's like a brother to her, but it's not. Blake's the person that can make Everett's and ergo Rita's dreams come true. And Rita realises if Jasmine decides to pop out kids in a couple of years, that will probably be the end of this record company folly and the end of their little superstardom dream. Rita and Everett are on the make, and Rita, just let me tell you now, you're not all that. I believe that if Everett gets even a sniff whiff of any sort of recognition within the music industry, you will hit the street. You'll be dust. Be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. And that's everything for this episode. Guys, let me know what you think about Rita and Everett. Do you think they're on the make? I don't like either one of them. And for once, I feel sorry for Jasmine. You can tell she's a quiet kind of girl. And Rita doesn't really want to make friends with her. Rita just wants to make sure she can manipulate her, and she wants to ensure that she's not going to upset the apple cart. And that's Rita's number one concern. Please put down below what you think. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click that red button, and make Ebird a very happy Ebird. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at mbird99. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Ciao for now.